I go by Hertzberger's to get some furniture. You got 3 rooms for $298. That's what it say on the radio. 3 rooms, $298. He made up a little song about it. Get down there, man, tell me I can't get no credit. I'm working every day, can't get no credit. I go by.
You can't get a loan. You can't own a home. You can't start a business.
Mr. Garrett, you have been warned.
Which means you can't build wealth.
Mr. Garrett!
And you're excluded from the American dream.
Sergeant-at-Arms, remove the witness.
Why is it so important to you to exclude an entire... You can't get a loan.
Alvin, can you hear me this time?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so on Instagram, I might have my guests in. You all want to see the split screen or just listen in, you can. Mr. Alvin George. So if you want to hop onto my YouTube channel, you can. On YouTube, it's Queen of Credit. So you all make sure you hit the thumbs up, and we're going to feed off you all. And I'll let Alvin introduce what the topic is.
Good night, hello everyone. We're back on this again. The topic for tonight, we're going to be discussing credit cards and rewards and why it pays PAYS to use credit cards. So the topic tonight is going to be credit cards and rewards and why it pays to use credit cards. That's going to be the topic of discussion tonight. So hello everyone, good evening, and let's get it going. You got anything to say to start it off with, Tommy?
I don't. We pretty much just started talking about the resilience score. I'll let you try to be the king of credit cards. I help people get approved for credit cards, and I use them. I don't think people understand what leveraging credit cards mean. I don't think they understand what leverage means, period. I don't think they understand that the rich and wealthy leverage all the time other people's time, money, and resource. So I don't think we quite have a understanding of what leverage is, a quiet understanding of how to use credit cards if you want to be richer or to create more cash flow. It's a negative way to use credit cards, and it's positive ways to use credit cards. And starting at a lot of people want to know, for example, with business credit, right? Where do they need to start? I highly promote business credit because there are business credit cards that you can get at a high credit limit that will not report on your personal credit score. And so credit cards can create capital and cash flow, right? And that's where I want people to understand the different ways to use them for those purposes and those purposes only. Because credit cards are a way of passive income too, so.
Absolutely. Well, let's start off there. Let me try to go into the subject of leverage really quick before we get going on. Leverage is nothing more and only is a tool. It's a tool that you can use to purchase more product or service or more value than you currently have in, let's say, for instance, cash. Like, you're going to leverage something like your credit to acquire much more of that product or service. Let's say, for instance, I'm going to give a prime example. Let's say, for instance, you started a hair company. Like, you started selling hair, lashes, nails, and all that stuff there. Well, what happens is if you have a good credit, you can leverage your credit to buy more supplies. Let's say you only have $5,000 to your name. You can only buy $5,000 worth of inventory until you run out. But if you had good credit, you can leverage your credit to get $20,000 worth of inventory that'll last you much longer, and then you will just pay back what you borrowed. you will just pay back what you borrowed. So the leverage portion is just borrowing more than you currently have in your possession as far as cash go. So you're leveraging something called your credit to acquire more resources with the promise of paying back at a later date.
Right.
And the more you do that, the better you do that, the higher your credit limits become, and the more the banks trust you. So I hope that breaks down the topic of leverage and what it is. If I need to go into any more detail or further, I have no problem doing that. But just remember, leverage is nothing more than just acquiring more resources, leveraging something that you have, like your credit, to acquire more resources with the promise of paying it back at a later date.
Susie Orman. Last year I borrowed $2 million tax-free. How I got that money is exactly why Susie Orman says don't do. Whatever Dave Ramsey says don't do, I do. Because I'm trained different than them. That's
communities that were teaching this to their children. Was there ever anything outside of Susie Orman? That's her name? Yeah. Was there ever anything outside of that that came and taught our people about FICO scores and you know what I'm saying? Like, where is this education being taught? How is a society, and not only in our community, I would imagine maybe in other communities, though, this might be something that they teach their children. I don't know. But as a country, and a country run on credit, where is this information being taught?
Nowhere. They don't give you no course on credit in college. Finance, because you take a finance class, man, you must gonna graduate with when you graduate college, you must gonna have a bankroll. Economics, does that really apply to you? Like I had Dr. Julian Malvo. She's the first black female economist blow up on me in D.C. last year because I made the statement that I always make, that education is overrated. And when I said that, she took offense to it. And that's because she's stuck in time. Like, how do I have the right to say that? The millions of people with degrees with no job and broke as hell. That's what y'all taught us. That's hey, we was taught, hey, go to college, get a degree, and get a good job. You know, but it's not being taught nowhere. The only reason my daughter know about it because I know about it, so I gave her that education. And I'm sure there's other parents that know about credit, that's giving their kids the same type of education or some level of understanding when it comes to credit and what to do with it. I'm pushing my daughter and my kids into utilizing credit for the purpose of obtaining real estate. Because that's what it's, at the end of the day, it's what it's all about, real estate. I mean, even real estate beyond the shores of the United States. I'm even talking about, when we're talking about utilizing credit, like I got lines of credit from HSBC overseas. I got a line of credit from them. So, but then college didn't teach me that. To me, college just teaches you how to be a robot. Repetition. Preparing you to go get that job. Then you look up and it's time to retire. And you can barely pay your mortgage or your light bill because your retirement check is not where it's supposed to be. And all the time that you was working, the cost of living was constantly going up. But they weren't calculating, they weren't factoring in your retirement check with that. So you messed up, but it's too late because all that youthful energy is gone. That's why I always tell any kids this. I tell adults this. I say whenever I can, you will always be able to make minimum wage from the neck down. Always. One idea to make you rich. When you use your brain from the neck up, it'll make you millions. But they not teaching you that. They teaching you how to always use the right side of your brain. When we all spiritual beings. But I'm not gonna teach you or put emphasis on you using the left side of your brain, the spiritual side, to tap into your creative being. They don't teach you that. That's why you raise your right hand. Raise your right hand. Swear on the walk on the right side of the hall. Man, they conditioning you. People don't pick up on all of that. You go to church. Man. You know, preachers can get mad, but I don't understand how one man can command thousands and he living lavish, and the majority of your congregation jacked up, and you doing something that you don't even know what you're doing. You standing up there and you using music with your words to mesmerize people and tap into their emotions, their money, because the majority of the people sitting in your congregation is women. Yeah. Music is mesmerizing, and the most powerful energy in this universe is sexual energy. That's why they use the hip hop industry and all of that, and they mix it to dictate trends, to dictate behavior.